Hey guys, today we're going to be doing what if Abdul, Iggy, and Kakyoin survived, but Joseph, Jotaro, and Polnereff died. So this is basically what if the Stars Crusaders swapped places in terms of who died and who survived. So this is another suggestion by the worst channel you have ever seen. And so basically the way this works is Polnareff probably dies sacrificing his life against Vanilla Ice or against Dio, maybe to save Iggy or to save Jotaro or anybody like that. And then Joseph would probably be killed by Dio, like in canon, but he wouldn't get revived after the fight. So he'd stay dead. And then Jotaro would probably die in his fight with Dio. Now, this is pretty bad news for the surviving Stars Crusaders because that would mean Dio would get to like suck out the energy and the blood or whatever of two different generations of the Joestar bloodline, making his assimilation with Jonathan's body even more secure, I guess you could say. Um, which is bad because he'd probably get stronger due to that. Anyways, this would be really a hard fight for them to win because one of the only reasons they were able to win in the first place in this fight is because they had time stop versus time stop. Without Jotaro, obviously, they can't do time stop anymore. So they're gonna have to do some kind of tactic like drawing out the fight long enough for him to get burnt by the sun. Maybe they do some reflection with just the sunrise or some UV rays they can get somehow. Maybe a machine from the Speedwagon Foundation, something like that. To reflect the sunlight and kill Dio like that to burn him with some of a Hierophant's Emerald Splash, using the emeralds to reflect or something like that. Any of those are possible technically, or a sneak attack. Although Dio would probably stop time, like this slight inclination of an attack from like behind or anything like that. So I don't know how likely it is that they would be able to defeat him. But let's say for the sake of the what if they're able to defeat him. Um, I mean, if they weren't able to, we'd probably like rule the world or go ahead with the Heaven Plan way earlier than in canon. But yeah, anyways, let's say they defeat him. Then for part 4, that would mean that Kakyoin would probably replace Jotaro in a way, because he's Japanese. He'd probably go to Morio. Maybe all three of them would go, but he would be replacing kind of Jotaro's role as like a mentor kind of character for Josuke, and he'd also have to be the one, him and they'd also have to be the ones to explain Josuke's whole paternal line and everything to him and what happened to his family on his dad's side, because they're all dead at that point. He never gets to meet his dad or his nephew, unfortunately. But yeah, although I don't think that would really affect the ending of part 4 very much. I think they'd still end up killing Kira unless there's some very vital role that Time Stop plays in defeating Kira. I don't think it did, but if it does, then they maybe did lose, possibly, or they'd be able to compensate for that with one of their stands instead, something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure didn't Bite the Dust get attracted by heat, so Abdul's stand power with the whole flames and everything would probably lead him to dying there. Maybe he'd sacrifice his life to save everybody at that point, or something like that. He'd get killed there. That's a possibility. Or maybe he'd still survive. Everyone survives, and they just kill Kira and everything like that. And then part 4, then part 5. If Dio didn't win, then it'd be like the same essentially. Maybe Koichi would get sent by Kakyoin or something instead of Jotaro. Um, yeah, to be honest, it wouldn't majorly affect the part unless, as I said, if Dio won, he'd be like either the king of the world or he'd reset the universe. So maybe him as in Giorno and his half brothers would still be with Dio and be loyal to him and everything. Maybe Giorno would try and rebel, but that would be a very different story. And then yeah, he'd probably live and play. Whatever, that's separate. Um, Otherwise, because they defeated Dio, part 5 would basically be the same. Then part 6 wouldn't really happen because Pucci wouldn't have anyone to take the memory disk from. Obviously, no Jotaro means no Jolene, so he can't really use her as bait. Um, so yeah, unless one of the Stardust Crusaders remembers burning the book and then he can steal their stand disc and do the heaven plan and everything like that, or they just kill him, find him and kill him before he can do any of that, and then that would be the end of the part, and that would probably be the end of the series, to be honest. So yeah, thanks for the recommendation, the worst channel you have ever seen, and yeah, bye guys.